What if I told you that Portugal's entire World Cup campaign changed because of just one dropped point? Not a defeat, not a red card, not a last-minute collapse. Just one draw. Portugal entered their final group stage match knowing that a win against Colombia could have secured first place in the group. Instead, they drew the match, and that single result completely changed their World Cup journey. Rather than receiving a more favorable round of 32 opponent, Portugal now has to face one of the tournament's toughest teams, Croatia. Today, we'll break down Portugal's group stage campaign, explain why the Colombia draw became a costly missed opportunity, and analyze what this difficult knockout matchup means for their World Cup hopes. Portugal's group stage journey. Portugal entered the 2026 FIFA World Cup with high expectations. Their squad had enough quality to challenge for the title, but the group stage proved to be far more complicated than many expected. The campaign began with a frustrating draw against DR Congo. Portugal dominated possession for long periods but couldn't convert their chances into goals. DR Congo defended brilliantly and held Portugal to a draw, immediately putting pressure on the remaining matches. On match day 2, Portugal responded exactly as expected. Against Uzbekistan, they looked much sharper in attack, controlled the midfield, and produced a convincing performance to earn all 3 points. The victory kept their hopes of finishing first alive. Everything then came down to the final group match against Colombia. Both teams knew how important the game was. Portugal needed a victory to maximize their chances of topping the group, but despite creating opportunities, they couldn't find the winning goal. The match ended in a draw, sending Portugal through to the knockout stage, but as group runners-up rather than group winners. The turning point, Colombia draw. The draw against Colombia turned out to be the defining moment of Portugal's group stage campaign. Portugal didn't lose the match, but they also failed to win when it mattered most. That single dropped point proved incredibly expensive. Had Portugal scored one more goal and defeated Colombia, they could have finished at the top of their group. Instead, the draw left them in second place, completely changing their position in the knockout bracket. This is why every point matters in tournament football. Small moments often create massive consequences. Portugal qualified, but their route to the World Cup trophy instantly became much more difficult because they couldn't finish the job against Colombia.
Knockout draw comparison. Finishing first or second in the group isn't just about pride. It determines the path through the knockout rounds. If Portugal had beaten Colombia, they could have advanced as group winners and faced a much more favorable round of 32 opponent. Instead, by finishing as runners-up, Portugal now has to face Croatia. One draw completely changed their World Cup bracket. It's the perfect example of how a single result can reshape an entire tournament. Portugal's qualification was never really in danger, but their path toward the trophy certainly was. What looked like a harmless draw became one of the most costly results of their campaign.
Why Croatia is a tougher opponent as one of international football's toughest knockout teams. They are disciplined, organized, and incredibly experienced when it comes to high-pressure matches. Croatia rarely gives opponents easy chances and knows how to manage difficult situations during tournament football. Portugal prefers attacking football and relies on creativity, quick passing, and technical quality. Croatia, however, excels at slowing games down, staying compact defensively, and frustrating talented attacking teams. That makes this round of 32 clash significantly more difficult than the matchup Portugal could have received as group winners. Instead of easing into the knockout stage, Portugal now faces one of Europe's most dangerous and experienced sides right away.
Closing and forward hook. Portugal's group stage will always be remembered for one big question. What if they had beaten Colombia? One victory could have changed everything. A different finishing position, a different knockout opponent, and perhaps a much smoother path toward World Cup glory. Instead, Portugal now faces Croatia in a match that feels like a final before the final. Can Portugal overcome one of the tournament's toughest opponents and prove that the group stage draw won't define their World Cup story? Or will that single dropped point against Colombia ultimately be remembered as the moment their road to the trophy became far more difficult? The answers await in what promises to be one of the most exciting round of 32 clashes of the 2026 FIFA World Cup.